The two ordinary hosts of this podcast are not professionals on parapsychology, extraterrestrials, cryptozoology, nor would they describe themselves as religious or prone to superstition. They'd also like to make it known that this show is not intended for children or those with sensitive sensibilities. Please listen at your own discretion. And remember, the truth is often anecdotal.
You had gone to, what was it, Texas? Was that where it was?
Yeah. It took a week to go down to Texas, do several little spots there. First we drove, which was a decision we made before the shutdown, but obviously we weren't going to want to fly with all that stuff going down. But so we drove 11 hours, which was a little stressful. We left like 2 hours later than I wanted to. And it's an 11-hour drive, but with stops, it's closer to 12 hours. And so we were running the risk of getting there at midnight, which is the deadline to check in for a hotel. And so I was like, we got to make it before midnight so that I don't lose this hotel that I already paid for. And so the first day we just drove. That was Saturday last week. Drove straight through, got to the hotel, slept through the night for the first time in a while because, I work nights. And then we did the state fair, the Texas State Fair in Dallas. The first day, drove down to Austin, did a few food spots, and I think caught a movie there. And then we did San Antonio.
You were all over the place.
Yeah, we did the zoo there, the river walk, and caught another movie while we were there, and just happened to stay at the Menger Hotel, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Sure.
Which, I was just kind of like, hey, need a place to stay in San Antonio. I pulled up Expedia and was like, give me options. The first one that popped up, it was downtown. It was right next to the Alamo, which is very close to the Riverwalk, and right next door to like this big indoor mall they have there that has a movie theater. And I was like, I was going to do all of those things. So sweet. I'll just pick this spot. Can literally walk everywhere while we're down there. And we show up, we get into the hotel, and it's old. It's like really old, like Victorian. And
Okay.
we're like, oh man, I didn't realize like how old it was. It was super cheap too to book. And I was like, in the back of my head, and I didn't want to say it out loud, but in the back of my head, I was like, maybe it's haunted, who knows? My partner's been wanting to do like the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park up here, which is supposed to be haunted. So I was like, even if it is, she'll be into it, whatever. That's kind of her thing, not really my thing. But so I decided to look up, like Google the Menger Hotel, and I had nothing about hauntings, none of that. Their main website talks about the historical parts of it. Like apparently Teddy Roosevelt and his Rough Riders had a drink in the bar before going off to some major battle.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, cool. Then maybe I want to check out the bar, which I didn't get the chance to do because we were all over the place. But so we stay there, stay the night. Our room is old and small. There's like this huge, what would you call it? It's what used to be the main lobby, and it's like there's a huge opening that goes up 3 stories. You can look up, and it's gorgeous. It's all very pretty of the time, and they put us up on the 3rd floor. Our room is kind of small, but for an old building, that's what you would imagine. And there was nothing really creepy about it, like at all, except that whenever I would go like take a shower, I took 2 showers while I was there. When we got in and then right before we left. And every time I would take a shower, I'd close the door, and then every time I would go to open the door, I was like, oh man, what if I open this door and then it's 1800, 1890 or whatever in Texas? That wouldn't be good for me.
Not great. No, not for a Puerto Rican man.
And But no, that was it. I didn't have anything creepy happen or anything like that. It is funny though, because eventually as we were going to bed, I could tell that my partner was getting nervous about it. And at one point, she left the bathroom door open, and I was like, oh man, if I wake up in the middle of the night, I don't want to look in there and see something creepy. So I close the door, I get back to bed, and as I'm like dozing off, well, I guess it was the next morning after we woke up, she was like, did you close the bathroom door? And I was like, I thought about it for a second, being like, no, and just messing with her.
Oh, you monster.
But no, I was just like, yeah, I closed it before we went to bed. At one point though, I know for a fact that I woke up in the middle of the night to like shift, and I like stretched a little bit. It was a small bed. It was a really small bed for that hotel. It was like a full size bed, but it was like on an old school frame, and it was like a spring mattress, so it wasn't super comfortable either. But I like stretch, and my foot hits the footboard, and it squeaks, and I see her like shoot up to look and see what that was coming from. And just half asleep, I was like, it's my foot. It's fine. But no, so like I was just like, I didn't see anything online about it being haunted, nothing like that. Didn't experience anything. She was a little spooked, but like I even walked around a little bit like at night. It wasn't like super late. It was probably like 11, 12 at night. And I didn't get like a creepy feeling or anything. It was just kind of like cool being in such an old building. Although when we were looking for our room initially, we walked the entire length of that third floor, and it was like a fucking labyrinth, man. You wouldn't get lost because you just keep walking straight, right? You'd eventually walk in a circle and find your way somewhere. Yeah. But it just felt like we just kept going. We just walking. I was just kind of like, oh man, maybe this is the haunting. Like you just can't find where you're going. But anyways, we spend the night. It's fine. I went to the pool for like a little bit, just sat there, and they for some reason have carpeting all around the pool.
I saw that on your Snapchat or Instagram, one of those.
I was just like, weird. And it's like brown, and there's like palm trees all over the pool. So I was like, maybe it's supposed to feel like a beach or something, but it was just strange. There's also like a bunch of old people. There's like a table of old women playing cards, and like this elderly couple was in the water. Which was like, that water was freezing, man. I mean, it's October. It was like almost 90 degrees there, but like still, it was not a comfortable temperature to go swimming in. But yeah, then we left to go to my partner's, visit her family who live in Stockdale, Texas, which is literally a nothing town, like an hour outside of San Antonio. And we spent like 3 days there or whatever. And her family is very conservative. So we were like telling them about our trip, and they were like, you were just in San Antonio, right? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, where do you stay? And I was like, well, we were downtown. And immediately they're like, ew, you were downtown? Like, downtown's where all the yuppies are and stuff. And we're just like, yeah, we stayed at the Menger Hotel. And then they just flipped. They're like, oh, you stayed at the Menger? Wow, we love the Menger. Like, we always go there they do ghost tours, I guess, through downtown San Antonio. But they've never stayed there. They've never had like the guts to stay there. And we were just like, oh, we didn't even know. So yeah. And then, yeah. So the Menger wasn't scary. My rental car broke down a few times.
Yeah, this was the scary part that I was hoping to get to.
Yeah, I had to. Well, the first car we had never broke down, but the check engine light came on, and so I was just like, man, I have like a 900-mile drive back home. I don't want to risk something happening. So I called them up, and they're like, okay, well, what you're gonna want to do is switch out the car. Just go to your nearest location. So I did that. They switched me out for a smaller car. I think the first one was like a Chevy Traverse. It was like really big. It wasn't even what I ordered. I ordered like a RAV4, and they like upgraded me. And that car was nice. It was really nice. It was smooth driving all the way down. They have newer cars have like adaptive cruise control. So when you set the cruise control, you can set how far of a space you want between you and the car in front of you, and it'll automatically slow down and speed
fancy.
Up. Yeah. And so no issues driving down. But when we were driving between Austin and San Antonio, the check engine light came on, and I was just like, man, I wonder why that is. You could check the diagnostics on the car. Nothing seemed weird, but they switched me out to a GMC, which is also General Motors, and exact same controls in the car. It worked exactly the same way. But that car ran out of gas after it said that I had I should have had 15 miles to get to where I was going. And there was a gas station next to my hotel. So I was like, I'll fill up when I get to the hotel. But then it just ran out of gas. And so I was stranded for an hour and a half, I think, waiting for roadside assistance. And once they gave me gas and I was able to put more gas in it, the check engine light was still on and it just never went away. So I was like, well, I don't want to risk that happening again or something else happening. So then I went to the location in that town and got switched out to a Ford Escape, which was not as nice as the other two, but it got me home. So yeah, it was eventful. I also got to go shooting with my partner's dad, who's a huge gun nut. That's his main hobby. He spends so much money on guns. So we were just out on her aunt's property, shooting at some steel targets at 300 yards or something like that. But what he really wanted to do was he brought a rifle that's a 375 Ruger. And I don't expect you to know what that is, but it's the kind of round they use in what they call elephant guns. So guns to take down large predators and stuff. And we shot a few rounds out of that. We only shot 3 rounds each because that thing packs a punch, man.
I can assume it knocks you on your ass.
Almost, not quite, but it did immediately leave a bruise on my shoulder. I was like, damn. God. Yeah. So yeah, it was a fun week, and then I had to go back to work at some point this week. So
at some point.
Yeah, not looking forward to that, but here we are now. And because of my vacation, we were inspired to do an episode on haunted hotels.
Yeah.
So I didn't experience any hauntings, but maybe some of the people in this story will. So with that said, I guess the intro. How do we do the intro?
Hello, listeners. I am Mr. R.
And I'm Mr. X.
A pair of normal dudes.
Reading paranormal stories.
Mr. X, have you ever stayed in a hotel? No, we can just jump into it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I stayed at so many hotels, and they each had their own
little horror
their
stories.
own creep factor, to it. So
that's so fair.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. So this was in Paranormal Encounters as of 4 years ago. It's the user has since been deleted, which is a shame, but the post is archived, so you can still find it. It is titled, "A Strange Thing Happened to Me While I Was Using the Hotel Elevator."
Ooh.
Context. The story took place... Oh, I should say up at the top, this story has some of the wildest grammar I've ever read, and I'm very excited to get to it. But there is a parentheses here. It says, context, the story took place in the morning, and it happened during the early days of COVID, so there was not a lot of hotel guests at that time. So my family and I was on a vacation, and we were staying in a hotel, and that was on the day we were about to leave the hotel and went back home. My dad and I were busy putting the luggage in the cars while my mom and sister were busy packing the luggage in the hotel room. Wait, if they were still packing the luggage, how were you putting the luggage in the car? Anyway, my dad, who was still busy with the luggage, told me to go up to the hotel room and check if my mom and sister had finished, so I went on the elevator all alone with no one on it with me.
Yeah, okay. Alone.
A brave boy. While on the elevator, God, okay, so while the elevator was going up, I noticed that the hotel was on the 13th floor. Oh, wait, I noticed that the hotel has the 13th floor number on it. Now, this is uncommon in my nation because most hotels here used 12A or 12B to avoid bad luck. My room was on the 15th floor. Suddenly, the elevator stopped on the 13th floor. I was hoping that someone was on this floor and needed to use the elevator because I keep having a fear that the 13th floor was bad jinx and I might see a paranormal activity. Unfortunately, the elevator door opened to a pitch black floor with no one waiting for the elevator. So naturally, I GTFO out of there and
wait, hold on. So he's saying, I get the fuck out of there
and click the close button immediately. The experience. Yeah.
How do you get out of there when you're on an elevator?
Yeah. The experience to me was not fully scary, but rather a mix of thrill and scaredness because I never encountered a paranormal activity before. I don't know if this even counts as paranormal. I think that the elevator just malfunctioned or something. And since it's COVID, it might make sense that a lot of the floor was filled with people.
What? Okay.
Oh, wait. Makes sense that not a lot of floor was filled with people.
Okay. But still.
This person's most likely, like it says, the nation that they're from. So, like, obviously, like, English is most likely not their first language. I can forgive that, whatever. I just like the phrase, literally the phrase that made me choose this story was, because I never encountered a paranormal activity before. I was like, gonna read this one. This is gonna be on the show.
And the whole, fear that the 13th floor was bad jinx.
Jinx.
I might see a paranormal
activity.
Just one. That's yeah, I get that there's like superstition around 13. I don't really know why. I guess I never really
this will be fun. Okay.
Look too much into it, but
is 13 considered unlucky? No, go away. Okay. The number 13 is considered unlucky due to its connection to several negative myths and historical events, such as Loki being the 13th guest at a Norse banquet where he caused chaos, and Judas being the 13th guest at the Last Supper who then betrayed Jesus. The number 13 also disrupts the perceived completeness of 12, which has been seen as a perfect and complete number in many ancient systems.
I mean, I guess we do go.
There you have it.
There's 2 12-hour cycles in a day, I guess. That still doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. Hey, I have a scary elevator story from my vacation here.
Okay.
So on the last day, we're getting ready to leave our hotel before we grab some breakfast and then hit the road to get back home. And like this guy said, I was taking some of the stuff that I had already finished packing down while my partner finished getting the rest of the stuff together. And so I grab our big roller bag and I head over to the elevator and I'm waiting for the elevator to come up. We're on the 4th floor and I'm waiting, and then I see when we checked in the night before or the day before, there was this young black family that was like using the pool, and I just kept seeing those same kids like going to and fro, like the pool to the room and so on. I see those same kids, and I'm like, okay, cool. They're gonna head down, whatever, have fun, and. And then I heard someone else with them, like an older person, and I'm like, okay, yeah, it's a family. I assume this guy's coming down, and I noticed that the guy who's with them is in a wheelchair, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'll make sure they come down with me, because some people don't want to ride in an elevator with someone else, but I was like, I'll make sure they get on.
Yeah.
And elevator comes, I get in, I scooch over because I know this guy's gonna need to get his wheelchair, and they don't move. I guess they wanted to wait, but I just look at them and I'm like, hey, you guys making your way or what? And the guy in the wheelchair who I'm guessing is the patriarch of the family, he was like, yeah, come on, guys. And him and the two little boys I saw get on, followed by like 5 other people. And as soon as the last person gets onto the elevator, we feel the whole thing shift. It shifts down and then corrects itself. And one of the little girls was like, "Oh, we're cooked." And I was like, "Yeah, it's not how I want to end my vacation stuck in an elevator."
So,
but it worked just fine. We got down.
Good.
Yeah.
Jenna is deathly afraid of elevators. So if at any point we are in a building that features an elevator, the scariest part to me is the stairs I will inevitably have to go up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My partner's also afraid of elevators. So yeah, we normally take the stairs, but since we're carrying so much stuff, she agreed to go along onto the elevator and whatnot. But yeah, sometimes we haven't stayed in like really big hotels, but yeah, I dread the day that we have to like stay on the 30th floor and she insists on taking the elevator. Like, I don't mind taking stairs, but I think on one of the hotels we stayed at, the one in Austin, we were on the 5th floor, and we did take the stairs several times, and even just those 5 floors winded me.
Yeah, okay. I get it.
What do some of these comments have to say? There's not a whole lot of them.
Not a ton of comments. In fact, there's only 3. Spirit. I think this is supposed to say Whisperer. Says, personally, I'm unaware what to think about this. There are probably dozens of reasons the elevator stopped on that floor that are not paranormal. Okay. Could it have been paranormal? Yes, it's quite possible. But if you don't hear any stories about that floor having activity, it's probably not the case. But I have a feeling to let this stay and let others comment on it. So we will have to see what others have to say. I might have to remove it later, but I will leave it for now.
There must be a moderator.
Oh, I see. I'll allow it. Apprehensive Heat 459 says, I take it the elevator went floor 13 and you just weren't aware of it, right? Floor 13 didn't just appear when you were going up the lift. This person doesn't understand.
Well, okay, so what I don't understand is, I mean, I guess like a lot of modern elevators have, you just press one button on your floor and it calls the elevator there so that you can go down, right? Because you're typically not going back up. There are some buildings where you can hit up on any floor and it'll take you up if you want to, but typically no one's going up. So if it was the ladder and someone hit the up button, that you'd have to expect that, right? Someone on the 13th floor wanted to go up to the 14th or 15th. But if it was a single button, then the elevator would have just bypassed until it was making its way back down.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe some kid was playing Ding Dong Ditch with the elevator.
in the pitch black floor that was floor 13.
Yeah, what was it pitch black too?
Yeah, that's my biggest concern. There are movies out there that feature haunted elevators. I saw one when I was little, and I for the life of me, I'll never be able to remember the name of it. But it featured something like this, where it took the passenger to like an abandoned floor, and they ended up falling down an elevator shaft.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That does sound familiar, but
I couldn't tell you what it is.
Yeah.
But in my head, why would you get off the elevator on the wrong floor?
Right.
Yeah.
Like if that happened to me, I would just be like, oh, okay. And just
click the button again.
Yeah.
Brenny 1993 says, what part of this was paranormal? And that's all they wrote. That's all the comments.
The 13th floor, obviously.
Did you not read the story?
The never-ending luggage. Duh.
Yeah,
so much luggage that they had to take half of it down. That was being
loaded and filled at the same time.
I wonder what hotel it was or where it was.
Oh yeah, they should have said it.
If it was like Midwestern America, that's the horror story.
Yeah. They were in. I'll give you a second. They were in. I can't. Oh my God! I've been in this town, Des Moines, Iowa.
Des Moines, Iowa. Or anywhere in Indiana.
Oh yeah.
Which apparently the people there are nuts. Or well, apparently people in Indiana are just not friendly. I've heard that from like several different people. Yeah.
Oh.
But okay, yeah. Elevators can be scary, as Jenna and my partner would tell you.
Yeah, maybe what we don't know is that they were both haunted in elevators, and they don't want to bring it up.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, who knows? Man, the Menger Hotel, Menger. I really don't know how to pronounce it. The person at the desk never said the name of the hotel, so I was like, okay. And I looked up a few videos, and people say it slightly differently every time. But that hotel, the reason we walked the whole length of the third floor is because we walked into the building from the Alamo. Oh my God, what do they call that? It's essentially like a square where the Alamo is, and the hotel is like maybe 20 yards from it. No, more than that. Probably like 200 yards from the actual Alamo. Not far at all. But we walked in from the side where the square is, and that's where the old lobby is. They have a new lobby, which is closer to where the bar and the pool are. So we went from that section to the check-in desk, and I got the keys, and the guy was like, okay, you're just gonna... Fuck, I don't even remember what he said. He pointed to our left, or to his left, and he was like, elevators will be right around the corner. And I was like, okay, cool. So we went left. We went past like the valet parking area, the pool, all the way to the end of the hotel on that side. I finally see an elevator, and I'm like, okay, cool. We'll get in the elevator, and literally had to walk the entire length of the hotel to get to our room, which is just right above the old lobby. And then later we come in, and I realize, oh wait, here's another elevator. It was just outside of because I had to get my because fucking downtown areas they're confusing. I couldn't figure out where to pull the car around to get the valet parking. So I finally did. We walk in through the valet doors, and there's another elevator just right there. And I was like, oh, I didn't see this when we walked past earlier. So we take that elevator up, and we still have to walk like a pretty long way to get to our room. And then later that night when we get back in, I see someone hop onto the elevator that was literally right in front of our bedroom door. I was just like, wait. So there's literally 8 elevators in this building. I don't know why the guy told me to go to the one to my left. Like I literally could have stopped anywhere and taken an elevator. But okay, with that said, let's go on to my first story here.
Do it. Which one are you doing?
I'm going to do the one experience, the Menger Hotel. I saw something in the ladies' restroom. Before I do that, all right. This one is in the paranormal subreddit by Toothy the Tooth. And it's titled, it was posted 12 years ago. It's titled Experience, the Menger Hotel. I saw something in the ladies' restroom. I was staying at the Menger Hotel in San Antonio, Texas, with my husband for a few days. We've stayed at the hotel before, and we've had a few unexplained experiences occur, but I couldn't rationalize them away. But I could rationalize them away. This one, I couldn't, and I still don't understand. I was at the Menger bar, and I had to use the restroom, so I walked in and took care of business. No one was in the restroom. It was a Tuesday evening, I believe, so the bar and hotel weren't busy. I exited the stall and walked towards the sink to wash my hands. I heard the door creak open. It's a rather heavy door, so it makes a bit of noise, and I looked to see if anyone had entered the bathroom. Normally, I'm not so nosy, but I just felt really strange. No one came through the door. I kind of shrugged it off and I started looking in the mirror to reapply my lipstick, and all of a sudden, a bright ball of light about the size of a snack plate flew in front of my face, hovered, and then flew into a corner and disappeared. I saw it in front of me and I saw it in the mirror. Needless to say, I took the heck off. Anyone ever have a similar experience? What could that have been? I still cannot come up with a logical explanation. Okay.
Huh.
I don't know if there was another bathroom in the lobby. There was one, again, in that old section that used to be the lobby. And the men's restroom was pretty small when I went into it. And I went into it at it was probably close to midnight. Again, I didn't feel any kind of way. It wasn't creepy or anything. I just, my partner was using the bathroom in our room. So I was like, I'll go use the bathroom real quick downstairs. And nothing. I don't remember the door being very heavy either. But then again, this was 12 years ago. It's kind of wild to think it was just a ball of light.
A ball of light is pretty wild.
Seeing it manifested in front of you, maybe through the mirror, I'd be like, oh, what the heck is that?
Sure.
But the fact that it's right in front of you, it's almost tangible, but you can't really explain it.
What did it say? A bright ball of light about the size of a snack plate flew in front of my face.
What is a snack plate?
The
one
only
of those
thing I can
tiny
think of is
plates?
the small plates that you have, not the dinner serving plates, but the smaller ones.
Yeah,
that would come in a set. That's
It'd
my
be
only
a tea saucer. No,
right.
I don't know. Yeah. A saucer plate. Yeah,
and it flew in front of my face, hovered, and then flew into a corner and disappeared.
Which corner? Would it be weird? It would have been funnier if if it flew into one of the stalls.
In one of the stalls, and you heard a flush. Right?
Yeah,
you heard a bunch of pooping
really
sounds and a flush.
Yeah. Okay, so there's not a whole lot of comments, but I think most of them are in agreement. So this first one from Panzer Kitten says, I just watched a show about that hotel. That particular bathroom does have a ghost of a female maid. A lot of people have seen a woman in old-time maid's uniform in or coming out of the restroom. Other people have heard someone enter the restroom or even heard a woman sneeze when no one else was in the restroom. The story goes she was a maid back in the day, and her boyfriend, husband, was extremely jealous. Actually, I'm not going to read this part because I do have a little history here about who that is. Okay. So on ghostcitytours.com, which I think is, I don't know, whenever you book your hotel room with them, there's an option to book ghost tours as well, which I didn't realize until we were leaving and I was trying to look up information on this hotel.
Dang.
But according to this website, Sally White is one of the ghosts who haunts this hotel. They have her subtitled here as the ghost of a chambermaid. It says Sally White was one of the Menger Hotel's most beloved staff members during the late 19th century. She was the good sort, the sort of person who took pleasure in completing her daily duties as a chambermaid. Though at work Sally was all smiles, the same couldn't be said for her life at home. Her common law husband, Harry Wheeler, was the jealous sort, and stories circulated the hotel that Wheeler was always jealous of any attention given to his wife. His jealousy sparked endless arguments, some of them even transpiring at Sally's place of work, the Menger. On March 28th of 1876, Harry Wheeler's jealousy would take a deadly turn. On the evening before one of Harry and Sally's rows had escalated quickly, Wheeler wheeled around on Sally. What does that fucking mean? Closing in on her. So furious, he threatened to kill her. Panic kicked up Sally's steps as she ran from her husband to the local police station. She begged the officers to help her. They agreed, allowing her to stay at the courthouse for the remainder of the night. An investigation of Wheeler himself and their house showed no signs of any weapons, leaving the officers without any sort of leverage to arrest Harry Wheeler and stick him in jail. Early the next morning, Sally returned to her house to gather some items before heading to work at the Menger. Harry Wheeler had been waiting for her, and he'd been waiting with a fully loaded pistol. Sally ran, bursting out of their shared home. She ran down the street, praying to close the 2-block gap to the Menger. where she would find safety. But Wheeler followed his wife. He followed her down those 2 blocks, and when he caught up, he closed his hand around her throat and unloaded the 6-shooter. He shot her once in the lower abdomen, and when she squirmed out of his tight grasp, he fired again and shot her just to the left of her spine. Sally White died 2 days later on the 3rd floor. Goddamn. There's some typos in here, so it makes it like a little difficult to read. Sally White died 2 days later on the 3rd level floors of the original part of the hotel. Harry Wheeler never was arrested for the murder of his common law wife. Where he went after the shooting, no one quite is certain. It's weird. It's so weird too. Mary Menger and the other management at the hotel had loved poor Sally White so much. However, they decided to fund Sally's funeral costs. Okay. They loved her so much, however, that they decided to fund her funeral costs. The 1876 receipt can still be found in the lobby of the Menger Hotel, in which they paid cash for Sally White, a chambermaid deceased, murdered by her husband. For the grave, they paid $25, and for the coffin, $7. I was told about this receipt after the fact. I didn't get a chance to see it. Today, Sally White's ghost is still seen frequently throughout the hotel, but most especially on the 3rd floor, where she'd passed over 100 years ago. It seems that even in death, Sally enjoys her work at the Menger, for she most commonly seen clutching an armful of towels or sheets to her chest. On 2 separate occasions, guests reported seeing Sally's ghost walk through a door or a wall as though the barrier posed no problem to the otherworldly specter. Always her hands were full of sheets and towels. On the 2nd occasion, the guest had just gotten out of the shower. It's funny, I read this after, because I told you, anytime I'd walk out of the bathroom, I was like, what if I walk into the past? In this case, the woman walked out, and she just got out of the shower when she saw Sally's apparition folding sheets at the edge of her bed. Shock hit her squarely in the gut, followed quickly by pure fear, and the guest hightailed it down the stairs to the front desk and told the concierge everything that she had seen. For those hoping to see Sally for yourself, make sure you book your room on the 3rd floor of the original section of the hotel. Keep a lookout for a nearly translucent form wearing a maid's uniform, a scarf tied around her head, and a lock necklace of beads. And if all else fails, perhaps mess up your sheets a bit. Just to cue Sally in. So I was on the 3rd floor, like on the original part of the hotel. I did not see Sally, sadly.
Dang it.
Yeah. Murder. You know, one of the ghosts, it's funny, one of the ghosts that haunts this hotel apparently is Theodore Roosevelt.
Oh, Teddy himself.
Yeah, he just hangs out at the bar. Okay, so when they explain it in that same little article, they say that they're like, he liked the hotel so much he stayed at it at least 3 times. And I'm like, well, I mean, it was harder to get around back then, but like, I feel like if you really liked a place, you'd go more than 3 times. But yeah, people claim to see Teddy Roosevelt in the bar all the time, which makes me even sadder that I didn't get to go into the bar.
You could have seen him.
Yeah, Teddy Roosevelt's. He eventually became cool, I guess.
Yeah,
he's a bastard in a lot of ways, but
yeah, he did some neat things.
Yeah, we have national parks because of him.
I probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't buy him a drink.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Let me just see if any of those other comments said anything different. Oh, from the OP, they said, I wanted to add this. My husband and I stayed on the floor where she was treated after being shot. We heard footsteps come up and down the stairs twice, but no one ever showed themselves. I just thought that maybe someone was messing with us. Also, in our room on that floor, my husband was in the shower and claimed someone tapped him on the shoulder while he was in there. This was my first experience. And I didn't have any of that happen. But I will say, my partner had a hard time sleeping. Everything was freaking her out, but she swore that she like could hear people like outside and whatnot. And we also were there on a Tuesday. Although I will say, when we walked in to go to bed, when I was considering going to the bar, we could hear people at the bar. Like the bar sounded full. Maybe it was Ghost.
Full of ghosts.
She just kept claiming that she would hear sounds, like sighs and stuff. And there were a couple times where I like woke up to like roll over or something, and I heard like what would have sounded like a sigh, but my rational brain, I'm always jumping to like what things possibly really are. And when I was trying to look up initially when we got to the hotel if there was any ghost stories or anything, one of the things that they mention on the official website for the hotel is that, and there's a big sign in the lobby when I was checking in too, is that they still have mostly the original air conditioning system and heating system that was installed in the 1940s. And
that sounds awful.
So I mean, there are like digital thermostats and stuff, but they don't recommend you adjust them because it does put a strain on the system. And instead they recommend that if you're too cold, because they adjust all of them themselves, that if you're too cold, just turn it off or whatever. But to me, it literally just sounded like air coming through the vents, like just kind of puffing through occasionally.
I
or whatever,
see.
because
Yeah.
it is an old system. They also have like really old sprinkler systems built in and stuff, but I don't know. Again, maybe it was ghosts. I don't. For anyone who would want it to be ghosts, sure, why not?
What if the hotel, I'm going to say director, knows that it's ghosts, but needed a way to like quell the paranoia of his guests? So he's like, "Oh, that's the totally authentic and very original heating and cooling system that we have still installed. That's all the sighing and groaning and moaning that you hear throughout the night."
I mean, that would be my first thought. It's just an old building, man. It's over 100 years old.
You're like, well, okay, but does the heating and cooling ever say things like, "Leave while you still can"? Sometimes it does. So that's.
Although I will say, if I would have walked out of the shower, I mean, because one of us would be in the room while the other one was in the bathroom showering, so it probably wasn't going to happen. Because ghosts can only haunt one person at a time. But if I would have walked out and saw just a random person in my room, I would have been like, "Holy fuck!" Like, geez.
Yeah, well, that's scary.
What's funny though is that my partner was. I think she had the same thought when we first walked in and saw how old the building was. I mean, one, it was gorgeous, but then two, it's like, this is old. It might be haunted. So I left her in the room while I went to go grab some stuff. And she spent the entire time I went to go grab that stuff trying to get the TV to work. And she was like, the TV just doesn't work. Like, no matter what button I hit, there's just no signal. And I was like, damn, man, this is how they're choosing to haunt us, huh? And so I took a shower before we went out to do or like get some food. And right after I got out of the shower, I was like, okay, let me see what's going on with this TV. And they have like a dish box on the back of the TV, and I'm like looking to see if there's a power button or something. No. And then I look under the table, and it just wasn't plugged in. And I was like, oh, well, I guess that should have been the first thing I checked. But no, that was Ghost 2. They were just trying to keep us from.
Yeah, y'all's
watching the
specific
news.
ghost is minor inconveniences.
Okay. There was one more. This one's probably going to run a little long, but there was one more comment I wanted to read on that one. Okay. This person here, Green Man 623 says, "First of all, I am a skeptical, and I have never heard or seen a ghost in person. But while staying at the Menger Hotel, my cousin took a photo of us in the room with her iPhone. Didn't think anything of it, but later she showed me the pic, and you could see the outline of a little boy in the shadows. You could even see the old-fashioned collar around his neck. Super scary. No doctored photo." Well, show us the photo, dude.
Yeah, what are you doing?
So I decided to look up the Menger Hotel, just to see how people pronounce it. and on TikTok, and there was like a couple of videos, but there was one. There's one where someone was taking hold on, I'm gonna have to show you a picture of the lobby just so you get an idea of it. But they were taking a picture of the old lobby, and they're kind of like panning over, and there's like a mirror on the bottom floor, and you don't get a clear view of it in the video, but they're essentially kind of like, oh my God, what was that? And people in the comments were like, if you look closely, there's a little girl running. And I did see the little girl before I even clicked on the comments. But the little girl literally looks like she's wearing a t-shirt and shorts. And I'm like,
not very ghostly.
Yeah, I was like, that was just a little kid running in the lobby. You just couldn't see them from where you were standing. Here, let me post this in media for you. Okay, yeah. So if you get a good look at this lobby.
All right. Okay. So what I'm looking at is a very teal, very turquoise room. You've got white columns. This is nice. This is some very nice architecture. Even the furniture seems time appropriate. You've got some paintings. I don't see a little girl anywhere.
No, it wasn't. This wasn't the thing. I just need to give you the visual of what it was like.
I'm sorry.
But the person who posted the video, they were standing on the third floor, and they were just kind of, doing a panoramic shot of it. And I'll have to find that video to show you. But we're almost at an hour now, so we should just blaze through the rest of these stories.
Yeah, we're fine. We don't have to do my last one. It is just the comments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll do one more Menger story here.
Menger.
And this one is just titled Menger Hotel, San Antonio. It's from the Paranormal subreddit, posted 6 years ago by Hakuho fan.
Sure.
Jesus. And it's flared with experience. And it goes, a few years back, I took my wife to the historic Menger Hotel for her birthday weekend. The hotel was built on part of the original Alamo grounds, even though you really can't tell by today's streets and storefronts. It's hallowed ground, and much blood was shed on that land that is sadly not even acknowledged. Hey, you guys lost. I just want to say that. It is very well known for being haunted. They even have a person on staff to address experiences if you need to talk to someone to find out who did it.
Oh.
There's a long list of residents. They're friendliest when not messed with. If you tempt them, some have been known to scratch and keep you up all night. YouTube has some good videos. Okay. The hotel is a very popular place and has been around since the 1800s. It has an old wing, original, and a new wing. The old wing is absolutely beautiful, and we reserved a room in this section for the weekend. We checked in around midnight and go straight to bed. My phone battery died on the trip. I put our suitcase in the closet and closed the door. I have a habit. Anytime I close the door, I give it a slight tug in the opposite direction to make certain it is latched. It's all one quick motion, and it's just an old habit. We get woken up around about 3:20 a.m. to my wife's phone ringing. We both wake up and she answers it without looking at it. Hello? Static. Hello? Garbled voice. She's still on the phone and I say, who is it? Static. Silence. Rah, rah, rah. It's such a stupid way that's written. Same garbled voice, but agitated. And then click, it hung up. Hold on, let me do that. Agitated. Same garbled voice, but agitated, and then click, it hung up. I could hear the last one because it was quiet. What? I was like, what the fuck? We looked at each other and looked at the caller ID, and it was my phone. She pulled my phone out of her purse and checked it. I checked it. It was dead. It wouldn't turn on, just like we left it. Why would you not put your phone in charge?
Right.
Anyways, we both looked at each other, kind of nervously, chuckled a little, not much. And I said, happy birthday? We went back to sleep. I'll admit, I kind of laid there for at least an hour, just freaked out. When we woke up in the morning and the closet door was open, not cracked or slightly open, all the way open, as far as the door would go. Second day, we ate lunch in the historic dining room, and I had to get something from the room. I left her at the table and made my way to the elevator, where it just opened. No sensor, it just opened. I said thank you and got in. All in all, the entities we encountered were friendly. We still stay there again. Old section only, of course. So there is apparently a story where a woman gets in late and she needs to go to bed, and she thinks to herself like, hey, I should request a wake up call after I get out of my shower. And as soon as she gets out of her shower, her room phone rings, and an employee is like, hey, I know you got in late. I was just thinking maybe I'll set up a wake up call for you at this time. And she just says, thank you. And attributes that to a ghost. Not Sally the maid, but like a different former employee. Doesn't specify if she got the actual wake up call later or not. Just the story is just the conversation. I'm like, oh, well, I mean, that's creepy as fuck.
Spooky.
I will say, when we got into the hotel, my partner needed to charge her phone, but she didn't have the brick with her. But most hotels have like USB ports that you can plug in now and stuff like that. Not this place. They had like new fixtures, because they had like fixtures with plugs in them, so that you didn't have to search the walls for plugs. But yeah, I guess the guy just decided to leave his phone uncharged all night. That would seem like the ideal time to do it. Just plug your phone in while you sleep. Ugh. Weird. All right. Also, there's a phone in the room. You would think they would just call the room phone, right?
Yeah, that feels like the only way to do it, actually.
Yeah. But I guess this does make the story creepier, because then you get the caller ID. Although, she just woke up and answered the phone without looking at the caller ID. She wasn't like, oh, my husband's calling me. Let me look and see if he's right next to me.
Oh, no.
Okay, let's see what some of these comments have to say. Adrian G. Razzo says, every year the Menger Hotel hosts a haunted tour which starts there and goes around downtown San Antonio. Some interesting places and stories. One of the most random haunted places is a Holiday Inn. It used to be an old jail where they would hang prisoners. Me and my wife always request a haunted room at any hotel we stay in San Antonio. There are so many to choose from. Someone says, you know which Holiday Inn? I'm guessing the Holiday Inn that's on the river, because we were hoping that the Menger had like a complimentary breakfast or whatnot, which they didn't. So we went to go walk to get breakfast, and we passed the Holiday Inn, and they had a very nice like dining area where they host their breakfast. And I was like, maybe I'll stay there next time. Maybe I'll actually get haunted now that I know that it is. Notting Hill Napoleon says, this sounds facetious, but do ghosts ever close doors? What? Do you know what facetious means?
It's one of those instances where you learn a new word and you're like, I gotta use it somehow. Today's the day.
It was on my vocabulary calendar.
Yeah.
I never heard of somebody's spooky experience leaving a door open to find it shut later. I promise I'm not trying to make fun of the poster's experience. It's a good post with a cool story. Well, first off, he closed the door and then it was open, which is creepier, because if it was just the door was closed, I would just assume the hinge was loose and it just slowly closed on itself. Okay. Someone responds to that. Bush Maying says, I felt my house was haunted a few years back. And the most memorable thing about it for me was the sound of doors opening and slamming. I even had a friend there who would back me up to this day if we still talked.
If only we still talk.
If only he was still my friend.
If only I hadn't taken his piggy bank. I don't know why that was the first thing I decided.
It's so funny that we keep running into this. It's like, I have people who would back me up if they liked me. If they used the internet, if they were still alive.
If they weren't Amish.
Let's see, Van San 871 says, after all the defenders were shot and the few remaining prisoners bayoneted to death, all the bodies were thrown on a large bonfire and burned to ash. I imagine a few of them are still a mite restless.
Yeah,
I used to talk about
probably.
the Alamo. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, before I even went to the Alamo, I was talking to someone, and they were like, "Yeah, man, he's like, I didn't know we lost the Alamo until like a couple of years ago." And they grew up in Texas, and I was like, "What? They don't tell you that they lost?" Like,
No, what? They definitely do. There's a whole class.
yeah, it's like what, 8th grade or something like that.
Yeah, like Texas history. Like that's all we could talk about.
But yeah, I'm just like, okay. Someone says, seems you had a nice experience there. Ginger C44 just says, fun, with an exclamation point. And then Adrian J. Razzo comments again, says, not sure of exact location, but it's within walking distance of the Menger, according to the Holiday Inn. It's on the river. It's a huge fucking building. You can't miss it. If that was an old jail, they very clearly built on top of it, because it's quite a few stories. And okay, yeah, that's it. Those are my 2 stories and my little experiences where nothing happened to me at a hotel.
We should do that. We should go spend the night at, like, let's say, like the Stanley. Yeah. And then come back and report our night on the podcast. I think that'd be really fun.
My partner wants to. I don't know. I personally have never understood the idea of paying to not get sleep. Like, if I go to a hotel, it's because I want to sleep.
Obviously, if you're going for that in mind, you're not paying to not sleep. You're paying to experience, right?
Yeah. You know what? I was listening to a podcast, and they had it's a podcast that I normally listen to. It's normally true crime. They sometimes cover spooky stuff, but they had these ghost hunters on, and those guys were like, yeah, our channel started out as, I wish I could remember their names, but they're like, our channel started out where we would do pranks and stuff. And, but then we decided to shift towards like haunted places to have like more of a niche. And they're like, but at first we'd go out and we wouldn't experience anything because we were like, we're not going to find anything. Like, they were being skeptical. And they're like, so we didn't experience anything. And they're like, you have to open yourself up to the possibility that you're going to experience something in order to experience it. But me, as a skeptic, I'm like, well, why? Like, why do I have to be like, oh yeah, you can go ahead and haunt me for something to happen? Yeah. If it's actually happening, it'll happen regardless, But I guess ghosts are just like, well, it's no fun if he doesn't believe. You would think they would be like, oh, that guy doesn't believe.
Let's get him.
Make him believe, yeah.
Yeah.
But no. But yeah, I guess, I don't know. It was pretty cool staying in that hotel. I'm like a history nerd, so I like stuff like that. I'd be down to stay at a haunted hotel only for the idea that it's probably gonna be really old and have like a lot of history.
Right. Now, I've been to the Stanley. We snuck up to the areas where you can, stay the night and stuff. And I saw the red rum door. And that was pretty cool. But while we were there, it was Jenna and our old roommate Shauna, and they were like, "Oh, do you feel the energy?" And I'm like, "I feel cold. Like it's cold in the building, but yeah."
Man, that was the thing too. I didn't even feel like burst of cold air or anything like that. So
oh no, this wasn't like an unnatural cold. It was just the time of year. I don't have any Ask X. We are at time, but I do have one thing that I posted in the media. If you want to check that out.
Yeah. Let's see. It's a video.
Yep.
From the Paranormal Encounters subreddit. Okay. Let's see. It's titled "Local Hotel Security Caught This on Camera." The camera, it's a black and white security footage of what looks like either an entrance or exit door, and then there's like another door to its left. It's dated November 3rd, 2023. Let's see. Gonna go and play. Doop, doop, doop. Oh, a woman's walking in through the entrance door. And as the door is going to close, it closes. Oh, now she's walking down the hall, the angle shift. So she's going down the hall on her phone, and a plant falls over at the end of the hallway. Oh, now her hair's blowing. Oh, now she's running. Okay. So from what it looks like, she walks in casually. She's on her phone. A plant falls over that catches her attention, and then something messes with her hair, which freaks her out, and she takes off running. ghost. Simple
It
as
has
that.
to be. Yeah.
Let's see what some of these comments have to say.
The comments are all rude. I'm going to go ahead and say.
He says, this first one on here, very clearly fake on a brand new account. Try harder next time. Okay. Someone else here says, this looks fake to me. Somebody could have pulled that plant over by a string from the corner. How come we didn't see footage from the angle around the corner?
Well, my thing is, if that door goes to the door that she comes in from, it doesn't look like it comes from outside.
Yeah.
But if it does come from outside, then that could cause a gust of wind, which might have blown her hair.
Sure.
But if you watch the video again, it does. You can see the what I'm going to call a frond of the plant being pulled first, and then the plant falling over. So the whole string idea is pretty valid.
I'm watching it again. Oh, yeah. And, who's to say, aside from the carpeting, you could tell the same building. But I just want to know, and you know what, the other angle, she's like halfway down the hall, and there's obviously more hall behind her. Could be someone waiting with like a blow dryer to blow her hair or whatever. But let's see. Yeah. I'm going to look at her clothes for any sign of like extra blowing, or if it's just her hair. Okay. I mean, yeah, obviously I'm going to think this is fake, but yeah, it seems a little too convenient, right? Like, why is there just a random plant at the end of this hallway? There's no plants on the other side of the hallway. Just a random plant there.
This video, the same video and a singular other post are the only posts that this profile has posted. And all of those were 3 years ago.
Right. Which makes sense, because that's when the video was dated. And you know what it says on here? I work as a hotel security and caught this. So, it's the middle of the night, you're working security. You have time to fuck around. Just do some stuff. But yeah, I mean, I like how in the other video, the same video, but the other one they have posted, they highlighted a giant red circle.
Yeah, as if you might miss.
Yeah.
If you look really closely.
She does have to back up to a certain distance before the wind hits her hair or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the way she takes off running is kind of like...
There's also a small moment where she's hesitating to walk forward. Like I don't know. It's very, very subtle, but it's as if she's like trying not to walk too fast.
Yeah. Oh, I like how the one with the red circle is only the clip of her, the second half where she's walking down the hall.
Yeah, it doesn't feature the walking into the entrance door.
Yeah, which also makes it seem a little staged, right? Because typically... when you're a filmmaker, you'll make something, you'll think like, oh, I need this shot and this shot. It will make it work. And then as you get feedback for it, you're like, okay, maybe I didn't need this one. And you like adjust or whatever. So, although it does make it a little harder to like say if this person has like an inclination towards wanting to make like videos and stuff, because this is the only thing that's on their account. But
right.
You know what? Hold on, let me see. Some deleted user on here said, interesting, something passed her. For the trolls, why are you on this sub? Fair.
I guess.
Someone named Boat Juice Cowboy responds to that with, yeah, so many people quick to call something fake. If you don't believe in the paranormal, nobody can change that. But something here... just to make up scenarios on how and why it's fake. It's tiring when I'm scrolling to see other opinions. Maybe there should be another sub for people who just want to debunk all possible paranormal evidence. Hey, maybe we should make that subreddit.
Oh, man, actually, that's not bad.
Someone here says, a shadow moves across the doorway right before the plant falls. And they add at the end of it, which makes me wonder if they if they're saying clearly fake, or if they're like, well, something walked in or whatever. Let's see. Someone else said, I'm not convinced this is real. Looks staged and way too easy to pull off. Sure. Someone here says she briefly stopped before the plant fell. This is creepy. Yeah. Someone else here says this is. Oh, no, sorry. What were you gonna say?
I didn't notice it the many times I've watched it. When she stops, when she hesitates, there is like a figure that appears like in that doorway.
Yeah.
No, this is so fake. Like.
Yeah, I'll end on this one from Von Eugen. This is creepy. The sudden wind after the plant was shoved over is interesting. The wind seems to be coming from behind her out of nowhere, blowing very strong, but no wind when the plant fell. Well, man, I think the idea is, and you know what? If this was me, if I was the one staging this, it doesn't make sense for two reasons. One, the plant falls sideways, right? Falls sideways, and she backs up, and then her hair is blown forward. But
right, from behind.
Yeah. But ideally, in this scenario where a plant falls over and then you're touched by this thing, it's clearly running towards you, right? Like the plant's all the way on the opposite end of the hallway. So it would be running past the plant towards you. So the plant would fall forward and then your hair would be blown backwards.
Backward.
Not sideways and then forward.
I also don't see any replies from OP.
Yeah. Do they comment on the other one?
Oh, I don't know. 16 comments on the other one. No comments from OP. But I will say an auto moderator says your submission has been automatically removed because the account has been active for less than 30 days.
Even this one they're like, can you make it look any more fake? She nods at the guy to pull the string on the plant. This is some of the worst acting I've ever seen. Oh yeah, she does nod.
She definitely does nod, doesn't she?
And then she does she has to take a few extra steps before the wind hits her or whatever on the way back. Oh, someone says, someone responds to that with, then runs into the exact doorway the plant ended up pointed towards. As in, that's dumb. Someone else responds, explain her hair then. Well, clearly there's someone with a blow dryer behind where the camera isn't pointed.
My favorite comment response to that is, oh my God, I bet you think wrestling is fake too, huh? Okay.
Well, this podcast is definitely fake. The intro, none of that happened.
None of it's even real. Hotos don't exist.
No. All right. Well,
yeah, that's going to have to do it for this hotel-themed episode. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. If you have any supernatural, specifically hotel-themed stories of your own, you can submit them to us on this to this podcast by commenting or to our subreddit, which is PONDPOD.
Yeah. And if you're enjoying the show, you can do a few things for us. You can, like Mr. R said, comment or leave a review. You can tell a friend about it, or you can check out some of the other stuff that we do, such as Sequel Factory, the show where we watch a movie, talk about it a little bit, and then pitch an idea for a sequel that nobody asked for. And the Dirty 22 that Mr. R does with our producer, Mr. E. It's a fun show. And yeah, so we've been a Paranormal Dudes, ever in need of stories to intrigue, perplex, maybe even frighten. So remember, if you can't explain it, it was a guy with a string, man, knocking over that plant.
Plant was a paid actor.
Yeah. Until next time, stay tuned and stay haunted. Menger. Yeah, stay haunted, Menger Hotel. Menger.
Yeah, Menger.
Menger.
Menger. Okay.
I think they were German, so. All right.
Oh, yeah.